Ginny and AJ would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land across the countries now known as Australia and the United States of America. These lands that were never ceded but violently stolen from the oldest living cultures and civilization on this planet. We would also like to pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions, culture, and hopes of a brighter future for us all. It's also important that we acknowledge the Gumaroi, Barkinji, Lachi Lachi, Birigubba, and Waka Waka ancestors and elders of our bloodlines, whose shoulders we stand on. Without them, we do not exist. It's through them that we carry our pride, strength, and resiliency. We must always remember that under this concrete and asphalt, these countries were and always will be on traditional Aboriginal, Australian, and Native American land.
Hello everybody, welcome back for episode 8 of Unapologetically Black. This is our final episode of this season. We are so excited to close out this season with yet again another bang. Before we begin, we would like to thank everybody for their amazing support of our most recent episode, which was Australia Day. If you have not listened to it, get over there and do so. But we are so excited to kick off episode 8 with some reflections of Australia Day. But Miss Ginny, how are you feeling at the ending of January?
I feel so much better now that it's like disappearing into the fog, like I think I said it 400 times in the last episode. January is a horrible, horrible month for blackfellas. It's just full of like all the worst people thrown at you, spewing all kinds of thoughts and opinions. So I'm glad it's over. I'm ready to it's another day in the colony, sis. We got to keep this shit pushing.
Point blank period. And I agree 100% with those sentiments, Ginny. I feel like January is just such a loaded month. And even the day, again, the strategic placement of Australia Day being so early in the year, I think that it was created like this to be a reminder for the rest of the 300 and something days of the year that you are in fact under a white regime. You are not Australian, you are not equivalent, you are not important. And guys, this is not just for Indigenous people, but most importantly but it's all for all people of color, because let's be crystal clear, honey, white Australia policy, get into it.
Right. They don't want us to forget that they are the steering the ship here. We're just on the ship
100%.
We don't drown, sis.
Literally.
But I'm really excited about this episode as well, because we got so much deadly feedback from people, and if you did listen, we really appreciate it, and we appreciate those who shared our podcast as well. This episode though is what's next, because I think that's something that happens a lot, right? We find that allies jump on the ship when they feel like they need to help us, and then very quickly disappear into the unknown. And so we're here to talk about that. We're going to tell you what's next for us.
Exactly right. So as Ginny was introducing with this episode, what is next? So once you have contributed to standing in solidarity with Indigenous people, it's vital that you strategically find mechanisms, strategies, ways, opportunities to stand in solidarity with us for the rest of the year, because it is essential, okay, that your moment of solidarity or support is not just based on a white construct such as Australia Day, okay, or a white product such as another Black Death in Custody, because it's not a matter of if there's going to be another one, it's a matter of when, okay. So how can you strategically help and support Indigenous communities in preventing that from happening? And these are real life applications you can utilize, if it's child removal rates, if it's drug and alcohol, if it's stolen land, if it's damage to the environment, whatever specific area that you would like to get involved with, now is your opportunity to start figuring out how.
And I think like we talk about, showing up and being there and doing this stuff. And again, I just want to reiterate the importance of like, you don't just get to, this isn't a bus that you get on and get off at. This isn't a trend. This is, if you're going to be an ally, if you're going to be, stand in solidarity with us, then that means you're ride or die, sis. Like 100%. Us, you ride or die. And let me tell you, 100%. Sometimes, actually a lot of times, it feels like you might actually die and not have the ride. But we need allies that are going to show up every single time, not just when it's convenient for them, not just when it's a hashtag, not just when it's a trend. So all I say as a disclaimer right now, before we continue on with the rest of the year, in the events that affect Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, if you are committing to this, then you have to commit. When you are flopping like a fish in and out of this basket of like, yes, no,
that's right,
you make us look stupid. So don't. You make us look stupid. So I'm just saying,
point blank period,
this is a commitment.
And you know what? At the end of the day, exactly what you're saying, sis, with us looking stupid, because of the power dynamics in this country. You may be a person of color, you may be a refugee, you may be a migrant, or you may be, second, third generation Australian. You are positioned as superior than us in this society, because Indigenous Australia are at not even on the rungs, but we're on the floor of this racial hierarchy. And you may think, what do you mean? Like, my experience has been really horrendous. My parents came over here from blah, blah, blah. It is not the same experience. And the fact that you cannot even recognize that is yet again indicative of the lengths that this white supremacist society is going in making you not understand what we go through on a daily basis. We are surviving a contemporary genocide. Okay, let's remove colonization. Okay, because I feel like colonization is such a comfortable word. White people are so happy talking about colonization like, well, something that happened, 50, 100, whatever years ago. Genocidal practices, guys. Genocidal practices are occurring every day in this country. And unless you know about them and then are participating in whatever capacity you can to undo them, you are maintaining them. And that is the truth.
So let's get into it. Let's give these people, because I think as well they loved the direction that we gave last time in our last episode, like ways that you can really show up. And I tried to write down a few things that I felt like is something that you can do in your everyday life, and for the rest of the year, what that looks like. So let's get into it. AJ, do you have any advice?
Yes. So I, like you, Ginny, jotted down some points, guys, because you have to understand with us, we're not going to drag. Okay, we're not going to not constructively criticize or critique. We're going to provide you with opportunities or avenues of new self-exploration. Now, let me be crystal clear. And before Ginny and I begin, I want to say this is not our responsibility. Okay, it is not our responsibility to teach and inform and encourage you ways to find enlightenment, to find decolonization, or to find capacity building in relation to supporting Indigenous bodies. That's not our job, but we're going to do it today in this moment, because we're both able to do so. Okay, Ginny and I are using our privileges and our benefits, or what our parents have attributed, or what we've worked hard to achieve, to be able to support white people, because that in itself is power dynamics, a shifting of power dynamics, where we are in positions of power to influence, encourage, and nurture. Okay, first of all, but second of all, this is what Black women have been doing. This is what Black women have been doing since day dot.
Exactly.
Providing solutions and answers to white supremacy in this country. We've been doing it since the British arrived. Okay, so just respect that. Sit back and let it sink in. Know that this is not our responsibility to you, but it is your responsibility to listen and act on it. Right. So one of my first points is getting in contact with your local community center Okay, so it can be a PCYC. For example, in Redfern, it's called we've got Redfern Community Centre, but we also have NCIE, but we also have a PCYC. So whatever community initiative you have in your local area, even if it is a PCYC, get in contact with them, ways that you can volunteer and help out in relation to the Indigenous diaspora in your community. Now, you may think, oh, well, my community doesn't do anything for Indigenous people. I'm sure they do. And if they don't, it's an opportunity for you to find avenues and ways to support. It may be a breakfast club. It may be a homework centre. It may be a youth off the streets. It may be any type of initiative. Get your two hands and get involved.
I think as well, like councils, you know, everywhere has a council, and generally, if specifically, well, they should always be working on Indigenous events and issues and the community. So that might be a good place to start as well. Again, I love that sentiment that you started off with, letting people know this is not our responsibility, and also, it's one thing I wanted to add is that it's also not our responsibility to care about how that's delivered to you. So whether it's hot, cold, or indifferent, medium, warm, you know, sad, angry, mad, happy, or glad, you're going to get it how you get it.
Period.
This is what I learned in my, I might not have learned about my people at school, but I did learn this. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Okay. So you're going to get what you get.
Black universality. Get what you got and don't complain. Oh,
that's going to be our logo for Unapologetically Black.
Let us know if you want to sit on merch. What's the other black one? You want to eat it.
Oh my God, that would be great, actually. You want to eat. Okay, so yes, I as well agree with AJ. So getting involved in your local councils or your community centres, PCYCs. I also want to encourage people to attend events, meetings, activities where Black people are leading discussions, not being led in discussions, but where we are actively leading discussions that impact that community that you're in. Because I think that's one thing that we hear a lot is like, and a lot of white people like to just group people, which
so true.
If you're Black and if you know much about Indigenous communities, you know that we're very different. It's like Italy and Spain in this bitch. We don't always understand. We don't all speak the same language. We don't all agree on everything. So it's important that you go to, if you're in your community, that you find out the people in that community. You know what I hate is when I'm listening, when I'm invited to things and they say, oh, and Auntie Joan from Wilcannia, let's say, from Wilcannia, said that this is what they do. So I think we should do that. And I'm like, well, we're in
Queens, Brisbane. We're in fucking Perth.
Exactly, yeah, which is fine. But listen, just understand that there are
relevancy.
The relevancy. There are always people in that community
100%.
who are the best people to lead those discussions.
Yep.
You need to listen first. Don't speak, just listen. And then ask questions.
Yes. Ginny, I'm here for it. And even saying that, my next point is around allyship.
Okay.
So I feel like a lot of people want to be allies, and this is not how to be a good ally, but this is a point it relating to you getting involved with community and mob and trying to help and trying to assist, but also being an ally. Identify yourself as an ally. Okay, allyship in this country is not new, because I feel like that's another big myth we're getting, like white people are getting involved. White people have been involved. Okay, so you're not going to get a sticker. You're not going to get a round of applause. White people have been getting involved, but have they been stepping up to the plate? That is another fucking question. Because if they were stepping up to the plate like we need them to, would we be where we are now?
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't. First of all, take it back a notch. White people have been volunteering or assisting, whatever the language they want to use, since the beginning of the time. Look at what was happening with a lot of the I don't want to say religious space, but look what happened there. You know, a lot of these religious bodies or organizations thought they were doing good. They thought they were going into Indigenous communities and making change. And no. So what I'm asking you to do is reflect on being a great ally, identify to Black people that you are an ally, sit there, like you were saying, Ginny, sit there and shut up, and they'll tell you what they need you to do. If it's moving chairs, if it's making sandwiches, if it's helping elders, if it's doing homework with children, if it's carrying boxes, if it's doing a drive or doing something, whatever they need, painting or helping them get supplies, whatever the hell it is, okay? Or maybe comms, maybe they need you to help them answer emails, whatever it is. They will tell you what they need, even in any capacity. So that's my next point is also, that's what my point is going into these spaces with an open heart, recognizing your privilege, recognize that you are an alien in our environment. Welcome to what it's like for Black fellas every single day. Okay, that's not an excuse. We are an alien as soon as we get out of this house. Okay, Ginny's in a whole nother continent. She's still an alien because our Blackness, our difference transcends around the globe. Okay, and that's what people need to recognize. So yeah, be an open book, listen and learn, and remove your own ideals. Oh, but I really wanted to do homework with the kids. No, you're not going to do homework. You're going to wash their dishes because they've got other people in here that know what they're doing. You're not needed in this
I love that. It's so important that no matter what, and no matter how passionate you are or how many years of experience you have with working in Indigenous communities, in remote communities, in whatever, that, you know, this isn't a resume, this isn't a CV. Your role will always and only ever be to support.
That's right.
And if you're not okay with just being that, then this is probably not going to be the space to be in, because I love that someone said that saying to me, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. And I think that's the dark side of being an ally, is that we always have a lot of people who have white saviorism issues, and that like to join our community thinking that they're going to be the next Black Panther. You're not, number one. That's not going to happen. Sorry. You're not going to be the Black Panther of this. You know, like, look, we try to
dare you read them for Phil? Like, I'm so here for it.
I think we always come with the metaphors in this, and so I felt like
there's so much truth to that, because we've seen a whole lot of Black Panthers on Australia. Like, sis, you want to calm down?
Exactly. I'm leaving this in here, by the way, because I think that's
you have to.
But
you were never cutting that out.
You're never going to be the Black Panther of our story. So don't try and be that person. You know, you're not here to save us. We're already good. We're okay. Your role is only ever going to support us. And that's what I mean. Like the dark side of that is that we do have a lot of people who have good intentions and then take what they like from Indigenous communities, or what works for them, or what makes them feel good, and then only provide that. And it doesn't 100%. Work like that. You can't just do that. Yeah. Your role is to support. So that's your job. You're a supporter. And also, I think more than anything, I want, by showing up, when you say you're going to show up, that also means that you're going to take what you've learned and you're going to share that with your friends and family.
That's it.
And your community members. We don't need to hear about how.
Yeah,
we don't need to hear about how great you are in our groups. If you're that great, you'll invite your friends and family to join us and join in solidarity with us.
Yes.
Of us.
And even you saying that, Ginny, that goes on to my last point that I have in relation to where to, in this specific, in relation to allies, because I have some more comments on where to now in relation to Australia as a whole.
Right.
But my last point would be your family. Okay? Because I feel like in our Western society, we are constantly told to look externally. Okay. And you're looking at heavily colonized women. Everything we know about a family, we've had to reevaluate. Every generation has to relearn, recalibrate, because white colonization stripped us of everything we knew. And what we know now, we had to relearn. Okay, because we go to school as children. Our parents went to school as children, okay, which is indoctrination. So we know whiteness, but you don't know Blackness. We are the experts on whiteness, but you will never be the expert on Blackness. You have to understand that. You have to recognize that power dynamic, that you are coming into white experts. I'm an expert on you. I know what you think. I know what your parents think. I know how far you want to go and how far you don't want to go, because this has been a continuous process after generation after generation after generation. You want to do just enough to make you feel comfortable, but you don't want to do enough where you're going to lose some of your power and your position in this society. This may be in the beauty field, so this may be beauty standards. You may be used to being like, oh my God, I've got my bathers. I'm so fucking cute. Oh my God, I've got eyes like crystal blue. Like, oh my God, my, you know, whatever it is, whatever standard it is. I'm so petite, you know, whatever beauty standard that is, guys, that's loaded. That has ramifications on validation of women of all backgrounds. But this is the way white supremacy does. It gets one category of woman, one type of woman, and puts her on a pedestal. She's what is ideal. But meanwhile, she's been teared down. And we did discuss this in our body positivity conversation. Yes. And you may think, what is the relevancy of this in relation to Australia Day? Everything is relevant. Everything intertwines, because just like body and beauty, Australia Day is provided to us as our go-to. Australia Day is provided to us as normative. So what I'm calling for is, guys, sit down with your families, reevaluate what is happening. You may think, I don't have families. I have a friend circle. Your friend circle is your family. Decolonize again. Reevaluate what you see as a family. Oh, my family, I can't deal with my parents are racist. Talk to them.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to walk away from too hard conversations while we're having them every single day. Our allies have to grapple with these issues. You have to keep going. Like, one lady commented on my TikTok, and I literally screenshot and reposted it. She said, I will always fight for Indigenous rights, even at my family dinners with my 92-year-old grandfather. I am fighting him. Like, she was like, lol. But that's what we need. You know, so that's my...
And you're the best person to have that conversation. If they already don't like Indigenous people, Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander, black people of color, guess what? It's not going to be receptive from me or AJ.
No, 100%.
You're the best person to have that conversation. Yep. And if they're told by their friends and families that they're wrong, they're going to receive that a lot better than from some black woman on the train telling them.
It's so true, Ginny.
It's only going to be defensive and angry and emotional.
They're going to call the police.
And we will die. We will die. That's the ramifications of that. That's the larger than life conversation. So
you'll lose your working with children check, honey. You'll never be able to work again. Yep.
Oh my Lord. That's how real it is in here. Don't think we don't wear all these hats, and don't think that we're not exhausted, and don't think that we don't know what the ramifications of every conversation, every action is.
Yep. 100%.
Just saying. I love that. I love that. Talk to your friends and families.
Yes, girl.
I think another one. Well, actually, you wanted to get in what's next.
No, give us one more of yours. I want to hear more, girl.
I was going to say the other thing, like, if you don't feel confident in having those, you have to have those conversations specifically with your community and your family and friends. You absolutely have to. That's part. If you're an ally sis, that's what you're signing up for. Number one, that's your job. Number two, help us fundraise, help us support our businesses, help us be self-determined people. We're not asking for handouts. We want to work. We want to do our own. We're very creative. We're the original storytellers. We don't need handouts, but we want you to support us. And you can do that in ways of monetary. If you decide to buy from Black businesses, that's always helpful. If you
definitely
sharing Black businesses, commenting on Black businesses.
And I just want to make one last point about buying Black, because we've gotten into this in one of our lives, guys. And if you don't get into our lives, please watch them regularly. They are uploaded on our Instagram page. But if you buy Black, guys, this is a continuous process. You don't get to just buy one artwork. You don't get to just buy one weaving or one t-shirt. Or
hang it in your lounge room and be like, oh, I bought this from...
I'm done now.
I bought this from an Aboriginal woman on Instagram. No, that's not how it works.
You have to continue. You need Christmas cards, buy Black. You need a birthday present for Auntie Marg, buy Black. You need a birthday present for your child. They want a cool t-shirt, buy Black instead of going to Kmart or going to Nike. This is a continuous process. And
don't be silly by thinking, oh, well, they don't have food, or they don't have clothing, or they don't do shoes, or we do everything.
Everything. You want jams? We've got it. You want ice cream? We got it.
You want a drink? We got it.
We got beverages.
We got beverages, sis.
We know you're thirsty.
Yes. You look thirsty. Let me give you something.
Hydrate, bitch.
We got something else today, geez.
Literally. What's our last episode?
You need earrings? We got you. You need necklaces? We got you. You need a yoga mat? We got you.
Oh, we need essential oil.
We got you.
Earth blended, bitch.
Earth blended. Shout out to Sissy Jame. But we literally have everything. So I don't want to hear about, oh, it's too hard. We couldn't find them. Ask around, you'll find something. And I think as well, like we think Black businesses as only on social media and Facebook. No, you know I live on a different continent now, but it's always been really important for me to support Black businesses where possible. So
100%.
A Black store or a Black-owned store or a Black real estate agent, or support Black communities in every way, shape, or form. Whenever I buy something, I think, does someone Black own this? Or does someone Black work in this field? Lawn maintenance. 100%.
And guys, when we're talking about Black, we're talking BLAK. Okay, because supporting BLACK is completely different, which is really important, but you should be supporting all people of color, all different diasporas in this country. And especially, we're not going to get into that right now, but we're talking BLAK, Indigenous. Don't try and get away from it. Oh, well, I supported somebody that was Black. No, BLAK, Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander. Okay. And tourism, guys, if you're going on a holiday, don't just go to any tourist company. Don't go to just any, I'll just go to the national park. No, yes, go to national parks because they greatly involve Indigenous peoples, but find Indigenous tourist companies, find Indigenous storytellers, find Indigenous restaurants or places, cafes.
We're everywhere.
Everywhere. There's no excuse.
And that is one thing that if you I love it when I hear white people say, I really want to travel Australia and learn about you. Mob. The best people to learn from are Indigenous people. You will find out where to go, where you shouldn't go, what's going to eat you, what's not going to eat you.
100%.
Support us in all those ways.
Yep.
If you have traveled Australia in a caravan and never experienced culture, you haven't traveled Australia. You've traveled your caravan.
That's it. And you've traveled whiteness. Okay. And again, if you're going into these communities, invest in their communities. Okay. Because all of the land that you're taking photos in front of, the oceans or the rivers and the lakes, who protected them? Black people. Yep. And you may think, what do you mean protected? Indigenous people. There were more Indigenous bodies. This country was more highly densely populated than what it is now. So that took a whole lot of work to make sure we weren't damaging, make sure we weren't over damming, overfishing, polluting, damaging environmental aspects such as reeds, or even overfishing specific or over hunting. Okay. This took work. And the way that you can help us for all the work of our ancestors, the little way you can help is going and supporting Indigenous initiatives within their own communities. But even you've got no excuses now because you can do it online. You have no excuse to not be able to do it anymore.
Backfiring so that the whole country didn't set on fire. We were doing that.
Point blank, period. You love your trees. You love your eucalyptus. You love going to rainforests for healing retreats. Oh,
you love koalas. You love kangaroos.
More than you love us, bitch.
Oh my God. Today is just such a read and I'm here for it. But listen, like we said at the start of this episode, we were going to give it to you how we wanted to give it to you. And this is how you're getting it.
That's it. And you know what? 2020 has been really bitter. 2020 has been really cruel. And speaking of fires, they were the bushfire season here in Sydney, obviously, sorry, not Sydney, the Blue Mountains and down the coast as well. And they were trying to raise funds for koalas, but wouldn't raise funds. I believe, was it Nowra? There was another community on the south coast that was severely devastated by the bushfires, and they weren't trying to help them, but they were trying to save their koalas. That's a bit of background. Re-educate yourself. It's your responsibility. And if you are becoming offended or if you are triggered by this podcast, have a break and come back. But make sure you come back, because that's the thing with Blackness. We don't get to have a break. So you sure as hell ain't having a break from us.
Figure out where that uncomfortableness is coming from. You know, retreat back into your privilege for a second. And then come back because you have to, because it's important. If you're really on this journey,
that's it.
Then you're about this life now. So,
and speaking of journeys, okay, so my next point, Ginny, was a bit of subjectivity. Okay, so as you guys know, I have a daughter. She is 4 years of age. She's turning 5 next year. But I've been taking really big, deep evaluations about where I want to live. So I'm currently looking down at Wollongong. I'm thinking about moving down there and raising my daughter in a community, a very multicultural community, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so much like what I did when I came to Sydney, or I've lived on a direct country for a long period of time, I've studied them extensively. I've learned a lot about the Barramangal people around Parramatta as well, and a lot of the massacres that happened around there. I've learned a lot about Parramatta River, then Duck Lake and Duck River that come off of that river, and I've learned so much about the people. Moving to another people's country, that's my responsibility to learn. That's my responsibility.
Isn't it funny though how black fellas do that? I did the same thing when I moved here. I said,
see,
I need to find out who was here before me. Where are they? What's okay? You know, it's so important. And make this a part of your everyday thoughts. Like, you know, find out if you I just don't understand you.
But that's exactly what I wanted to hear you talk about, sis, is the ways that we do this. And that's why the acknowledgement to country is so important, guys. We're not just asking white people to acknowledge whose country they're on. We're asking everybody to do it, and we're included. Because it's not like we're just asking the rest of this country needs to do acknowledgement to country. We do it. We do it at our own events. We do it every day.
Yeah.
So why are you on someone else's country, living, raising your children, building your house, making your little monopoly of a life without any recognition of the peoples whose land has been dispossessed? And don't do it just on Australia Day. Don't do it just in NAIDOC week. Don't do it when another black person dies from police. Do it every single day. Be thankful for what you have, because everything on this continent that has been able to flourish, everything on this continent that has been able to become is a result of black perseverance, black knowledge, and black expertise.
Do it. And people wonder why they get tormented then.
No, truly.
Real talk.
And talking about tormented, you fellas, we've got supernatural yarns coming in season 2, honey.
Oh, I'm excited. And scared at the same time. I'm excited and scared. Oh my gosh, actually
talking about fucking Australia. I'm excited, but I'm scared.
I'm also very scared of what's going to happen. But I actually had just side note, I had a conversation with my friend who is from London that I was talking to you, AJ, about. And he was like, oh yeah, I went to Australia. We went to Stradbroke, and they were telling me about this black thing. And I won't say the name because I do not want to get tormented. And I was like, we don't have to, I was like, I can't be involved in the conversation, but I know what you're talking about. Thank you. But yes, I'm excited for those conversations.
So that's coming next year, and moving towards
next season.
Next season. Oh my God.
Wait, in the new year.
In the new year. But what I want to say about this year, guys, is last year, me and Ginny's been yarning. Last year was our training wheels. You know, we were getting ready. You best believe season 2 is coming at you like nothing you have ever heard before. Ginny and I have poured so much love, so much hard work, so much inner working, guys. Both Ginny and I, we don't look externally. Okay, we're not worrying about what is happening on the outside. We're worried about what is happening on the inside. And that needs to be your exact same approach to Australia Day and to colonization and genocide in this country. And even if you are a black fella and you're listening to this, do more. Do more in relation to empowering and contributing to a revolution in this country. Because by existing, we are already contributing to that revolution. Revolution and identifying resolutions and what is happening contemporarily. And each and every single one of us, irregardless of your race or your background, has the opportunity to contribute to that.
Agreed. We can all do more. We can all do better.
All of us.
Every single one of us. And this is our little slice. We contribute in other ways as well. Not that I have to defend ourselves, but this is also our little slice of contributing by having these conversations and letting you in on these conversations. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. And again, even saying that, Ginny, the work and the effort that Black women continuously make in this country. Okay. We are continuously working around the clock.
This is all we know, really.
This is all we know. And all we are asking for you to do is contribute. Not just one day, not just two, but in every single way, in every single day you can. And if that is simply acknowledging the traditional owners and paying respect to them of the land that you're on, or if it's going to your local community center and helping them stack chairs at the end of the event and sweep up. Okay, or helping them get a grant ready together, helping them get some information for some funds, or even helping them get their goddamn website off the ground.
Yes. And I think that's the other way, that I wanted to say is that you can patronize businesses by, for us as well, we don't have the same resources as a lot of our non-Indigenous counterparts, specifically women. So if a part of this is helping women fundraise, Black women fundraise, because we don't have the same access to resources. So it doesn't just have to be monetary. It's by networking.
100%.
It's connecting all your networks.
Yes.
That sort of stuff. Think outside the box.
Important. And again, guys, distribution of power. You are going to their organization. They are utilizing you in ways that can assist them. That is reconciliation. That is recognizing Indigenous people and offering them the opportunity to collaborate with you, because that is what we're looking for, guys. And like you said, Ginny, not everything is money. Don't think, I donated 500 or I donated 50 cents. No. Donate your time. Time is precious, and that's what a lot of Black people do not have.
And we appreciate that so much more. I don't think people realize. Another one I was thinking of that if you are a non-Indigenous person, something that you can do in your everyday circumstances or your everyday routine is standing up for us. So if you hear someone being discriminated against, whether it's small, we're very partial to those little in passing conversations that happen or little comments that get made.
100%.
Stand up for us. Being an ally means that, you're going to witness us. If you're an ally, if you showed up to an Australia Day rally or an Invasion Day rally, I should say, then you know that we are facing a lot of negative comments and consequences for being alive. So with having allies, we're less likely to face those negative consequences. So by showing up and standing
100%.
up for us in those circumstances.
I love that, Ginny. That's so profound. And
you're helping us.
And what you're talking about, what we were yarning about before, and what we've yarned about in episodes, guys, if you're seeing a Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander person being racially vilified, stand up. If you see us being treated like shit in hospitals, if you see the police brutalizing us, if you see someone not serving us appropriately at any service, stand up, because we will not say, don't stand up for us or don't do that. Of course, we're going to appreciate that, because that is true allyship, guys. And it is dangerous out here for us. So by people of color, other people of color, but then especially white people in this Western society, going above and beyond in your allyship and standing beside us is what we need.
And as well, like, it's not even just in the community. You will have work colleagues who identify as Indigenous. So if you're in a meeting and you hear a passing comment, if you hear a Black woman being criticized because of what she's wearing or what her hair looks like or whatever, those are the moments that we really need you to stand up for us, because it's stuff that we deal with every single day.
That's right. And even, guys, adding to what Ginny was saying, when doors are closed, so when we're not in the room, when the jokes are being made, when people are making the judgments or they're giving the snide looks, that is your opportunity to act, because that is the space where we are most vulnerable, is when we are not there, when we are not provided the opportunity to answer or reply or have our say, or most importantly, stand up for ourselves. Because that is the insidious nature of white supremacy. It happens behind closed doors. And if you are a non-Indigenous person in this country, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you've heard it.
Yeah.
And you may have participated in it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's me. Done?
last one I was going to say is that it's really important. I think you touched on this as well, is that you had in being an ally, it does mean you don't just go, I'm an ally and now I'm going to fight for blackfellas. A lot of that work is your inner work that needs to happen.
100%.
And when I say inner work, what I mean is you need to examine your own prejudices.
Yeah, 100%.
You need to sit with yourself.
Yep.
And figure out where you sit in your own prejudices.
Yeah.
So your unconscious, sorry, smacking this friggin' thing again. Your unconscious biases. Yeah.
100%.
When you look at someone down the street and think, oh, what, that whatever.
That's right.
Where does that come from? And I think the most important thing is that you don't feel guilt. We don't want guilty allies. We don't want you to become an ally because you feel guilty. You may feel guilty, but you need to work through that. And that's what I mean by examining your own prejudices. You need to move through that. You need to be honest with yourself and you need to confront those prejudices.
And even like the whole thing, like feeling sorry for us, Ginny.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for yourself. My ancestors didn't go to someone's country, rape and pillage, murder and torture and dispossess. Yours did. I feel sorry for you because every single day of your life, your very existence is based on someone else's murder and continuous genocidal practice. So continuous murder after murder after murder. Right. I feel sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for me.
And I think that when you're, I think white people think that it's all, guilt and if it like it is going to be, because I mean we're humans at the end of the day, but if you can't see, or if you consider yourself someone who's really progressive and open, then there is a good chance that you lack certain lenses. Yeah,
that's right.
There's a good 100%. Chance that you are having this issue because of your own personal experiences. So being an ally isn't about sharing or fully. We don't expect you to wake up one morning and go, I get it now. Oh my God.
So true.
Can I become Auntie Karen now?
Oh Lord.
No, that's never going to happen.
Really though. Can I become Nana?
I'm Nana Karen. You can call me Nana Karen. Again, we don't expect you to wake up one day with an epiphany and be like, oh my God, I get it. And now I'm going to support. We need support, but we also, part of that is just acknowledging that there are things that you will never understand. That's the biggest part. That's all we want, really, is that you acknowledge that you don't understand. We don't expect you to just wake up and understand. Just acknowledge that you don't, but that our thoughts, our feelings, our history is valid and it's important.
Yes, girl.
Mic drop.
I think that's it. I think that's
do you have anything that maybe they shouldn't do? Well, I think we speak all of those things. Don't do the opposite of those things.
100%. And I think, guys, what this has been is, again, as a really crystal clear, a really strong and profound and precise exploration of what to next. Okay, because this is we're not going to say give our ages away, but this has been more than many years worth of lived experience and interactions with white Australia, because that's the thing, guys. This may be your first or your fourth or your fifth time collaborating or wanting to get connected with Indigenous people, but this is not our first. The moment we're born, we are born into white experiences. So you need to recognize that this is a big power play. This is an exchange of power, and understand that we know you do not know us, and you need to learn about us.
I just quickly will go through a few things that I wrote down for don'ts. There's going to be a lot of words being said that is going to make you feel uncomfortable. And I think, like, as white fellas, there's, like you said, words like, I think people have gotten comfortable with colonization now. It's no longer like, colonization. So but here are some words that you need to get comfortable with: genocide, rape, murder, pillaging, privilege. You're going to hear those words. So you need to get comfortable with them. We're not going to stop saying those words. That's what it is. We are using the English language to let you know exactly what happened. It's your language. It's now our language. So get used to it.
100%.
If you are going to be allies, it's important that you don't wait to be handed things. You need to be proactive. You don't just rock up and go, all right, you mum, what can I do for you today? And everyone's going to look at you like, Jesus.
Chill.
Yeah, chill out. Okay.
Chill train.
But be proactive. You need to be proactive.
And
Don't
find the balance, guys.
Right.
Quite specific, for crying out loud. If you're hanging out with a bunch of nanas, it's going to be our elders. It's going to be very different to being in a high-strung youth program. Like, you know what I mean? Just be based on what's happening in community.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah. So don't wait for people to hand you things, specifically white fellas, because if you do, you'll learn, like us, very quickly that they don't give you anything. So you need to be proactive about it. Another one I wrote was, don't retreat into your privilege and abandon the work if you feel uncomfortable. There's that is going to happen. But here's the thing, like AJ said earlier, oppression for us is constant.
It's so true.
You have it for a few seconds. You'll get over it, sis. Get back on the horse.
Oh, giddy up. I'm here for you today, Ginny. Oh my God.
I'm just going there. When you said, let's do what's next, I'm like, okay, let me write a thing.
I'm so here for it. I am learning and listening. Oh, speaking of my spirit.
Usually it's AJ who's the knowledge.
Usually I'm the one going off this shop. She reckon get on the horse. I was like galloping.
You must. Okay, so don't walk away if you make a mistake, because you're very likely going to do that. So don't.
So true. Yes, have your blunders, have your moments, but like black fellas say, get up and dust yourself off and keep going.
Yeah, and that's it.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Get on your horse.
I just threw my paper on the ground. But yeah, get on the horse, sis. Get up on that horse and
get decolonization.
Yeah, you might fall off on the horse named decolonization. You won't be the Black Panther of this movie, sis.
You will not.
You can't. You can't.
You cannot save us. Please put the cape away. Put the Caucasian cape away. Chill out. And relax. Listen. Do less of this and more of this.
I feel so happy because we literally have just come off the worst month, but I feel good. Yeah. And you know, look, here's the thing with black fellas. If we don't laugh, we'll cry. And we don't want to cry anymore. We're done crying for the month. We're going to laugh through this.
That's it, my sister. And just ending, I guess, this episode again, Ginny, I want to thank you for all the support and understanding and collaboration, and I'm so excited to continue creating content with you. It is such an honor to work with a woman that has such high integrity. You guys should get up at 4:30 for a live. Like I said, my baby's in the background crying. Even now, I had a meeting on yesterday and she just really supported me as a single Indigenous mum. So thank you so much.
Oh, this is what we do, sis. I want to thank you. You know, I had this crazy little idea last year. I reached out to AJ after like one conversation, and I slid in the DMs, and I was like, "Hey sis, girl, want to do a podcast together?" Because I think it's so important that we, as we are two Indigenous women, but we come from different communities,
very much
come from different parts of the country. We're now in different parts of the world. We share, we come together. We might not agree on everything, but we always, like, the support that I get from this woman is.
Stop it.
Is just something else. And I live for it. You know, we need to support each other. I'm so proud of this season.
And it's not performative, you know, guys, learn about that. Her and I bond is not performative. Okay, guys. And if a bond or a relationship is developing and flourishing and it's not nourishing you, walk away. Because it's just not right. And that doesn't matter if that person is black, if that person is a woman, or if they're not. Invest in you. And when it works, it works.
If that person is a family member or a friend or a social media friend or whatever.
That's so true.
Do you, boo.
And that's so important with the overarching theme of Australia Day, guys. A lot of people are not going to walk your journey of decolonization and solidarity with black bodies in this country. Majority of people will not, but you have to continue on your journey and align yourself with people with the same values as you.
I'm looking forward to next season, you mob. We got so many coming. I'm so excited.
You better get ready for season 2. Get over on our lives. We'll still be having those. Get over onto our YouTube channel. We're looking at getting over on Clubhouse. We're on our way working. So guys, just because we're not doing podcasts, we're still having more content coming your way over the next month.
if you want to figure out how you can support us more, and after this, actually a really good plug for this episode, if you are a non-Indigenous person and you own a business, or you are the CEO of a company, or higher up, let us know how you might be able to support our little podcast.
That's
being able to share with more people about the opinions and our lived experience of two Indigenous women who want to share, so that we can all stand in solidarity with each other, but also take this journey on decolonizing ourselves.
That's right.
In every facet of our life.
We are grassroots, guys. We do not have large anything behind us.
We haven't yet found sugar daddies. So
not yet. We're still working.
Or sugar mamas. So sorry for that technical difficulty. We're back, Niggin.
So sorry, guys. Sorry about the little cut off. Big Bad AJ's computer went flat. Just talking about decolonization. You want to plug your laptop in. You want to plug yourself in. Stop it now.
Plug yourself into culture. Plug yourself into allyship. Plug into solidarity, mob.
2021, guys, we are so excited for this year. Thank you for walking with us on this journey. It has been an absolute honor. And yet again, supporting two Black women who are taking control of telling their lived experience and taking back the microphone. So thank you.
This is our narrative. We're so excited about next season. Make sure you like, subscribe, all of those beautiful things. Tell your friends, tell your family, especially the racist ones. We love them.
Send them a link.
We'll see you in season 2.
Yes. Bye, guys. Catch you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Unapologetically Black. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram at unapologeticallyblack. You'll find our merch, contact details, and content in the link tree of our Instagram bio. In the meantime, please share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels. As Black creators, we're incredibly grateful for your support. Big love, take care, and yarn next week.